This episode of For the Story is sponsored by Podcorn.
Podcorn is an open marketplace where podcasters and podcast sponsors can interact and work together without any middleman.
Whether you're a podcast looking to take your show to the next level or a brand looking to promote your business, Podcorn is for you.
Podcasts of all sizes can browse and choose opportunities via their user-friendly platform and directly collaborate with brands with full creative control and no exclusivity.
Seriously, Podcorn made it so easy for us to get set up, and their support team has been so helpful with getting us to understand how to most effectively use their site.
We take our creative control very seriously here at For the Story, and Podcorn reassured us every step of the way that we're not sacrificing any part of what makes For the Story ours, and that we'll be in full control of when and how we choose to monetize. So, thank you, Podcorn, for sponsoring this episode. Please make sure to check out their website at podcorn.com. That's podcorn.com. That's podcorn.com. Hey, welcome to For the Story, the well-done steak of podcasts. I'm Ash.
And I'm Avery. And that's right. We're just like a leathery boot of a podcast.
Yeah, leathery boot. And this leathery boot is reviewing that British TV show about teenagers who try and fuck, Skins.
Wow, thanks for reminding me all about that. Do you remember that they made an American remake and it was just as bad as everybody was expecting it to be?
Condoms.
No, they still just called it Skins. That's how bad.
I thought it was, for a long time, I thought it was a TV show about handshakes. I was young. I was
Give me some
dumb
skin, bro. Give me some skins. I think the skins, I don't think it's condoms. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like joint wrapping paper, right?
Is it?
But nobody calls it that in the United States. So you'd think it's about condoms. Right?
Now I have to look this up.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think skins is supposed to be joint wrapping papers. Flavored joint skins. There you go. Gold joint skins, clear joint skins.
What is the show Skins named after?
If it's condoms, that would be great. But that's what everybody thinks because there's a brand.
Oh, it is cigarette rolling papers. God damn it.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, like there is a brand of condom called Skins. I don't know if that's in the UK because that would be
but they
confusing.
don't use them because otherwise, how would they have their grotesquely inbred royal family?
Yeah. And also, like, I don't know why they would ever like roll a joint with a condom. That's extremely misleading.
Yeah,
those probably hazardous for your health. Yeah, you shouldn't inhale that. That's rubber and stuff.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't light a condom on fire, particularly when you're wearing one.
UK, I'm worried about you. Okay, I'm worried about you smoking condoms.
Smoking condoms.
And trust me, joint papers are not good condoms themselves.
They have lots of little holes and they're not lubricated.
Yeah, it's not going to work. So whatever you guys are doing.
Cigarette rolling paper doesn't fit. I can't guess we have to do it raw.
You got to get a blunt.
I love sticking my dick in a cigar. Jesus Christ.
God damn it. What are we talking about? Oh, what a great start to the podcast. I'm so glad you're here, Asher.
Yeah, it'd be really hard for you to do this by yourself.
This whole time. You know, do you ever wonder about that? Like, maybe like everyone in the world is just like pretending and like you're actually a fool. Sometimes I think about that.
Oh, I thought you were... Do you ever wonder, like, if you'd be funnier if it was only you and no other people were around?
Was it Spencer who said on the show? Spencer, by the way, listen to Idiots Discuss the Universe.
They just did a music episode I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, they're super cool guys, and we work with them every so often. But we had Spencer, one of the hosts on the show, on, and I think he admitted on the podcast that when he was younger, he was convinced that his mom was paying his friends to be his
I think he didn't say that. I think I outed him for thinking that.
which is such a good story. So there you go. That's a great way to start this episode. So, but yeah, you ever wonder about that? You know, maybe your mom's still paying your friends even into your mid-20s.
That's how you know it's real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's when money
imposter
makes,
syndrome.
Yeah,
right there.
100%. Yeah. I mean, that's when money matters.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What good are friends if you don't have to pay them to be your friend? Wait a second. No, that doesn't make any sense. But hey,
the best friends aren't free.
Speaking of imposter syndrome, we watched Under the Skin because I think that's one of the messages they're trying to put out here.
Sure.
Kind of. Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. So we watched it. We have two very, very different opinions about this movie, but this podcast wouldn't be any fun if we agreed every single time. That would probably be pretty
Those
boring.
are our worst episodes.
So, they always are our worst episodes. Ash and I literally before we started recording almost argued. It was so close.
It was, but mostly because I wouldn't tell him what I thought the movie was about till the mics were going, and Avery was a little upset with me.
Yeah,
and
I wanted to know so I could prepare a reaction. But you're right. It wouldn't be authentic. It wouldn't.
Yeah,
so
we're going
to argue on the podcast. It's going to be so much better. But yeah, so
yeah,
that's where we're at.
Oh well, obviously, welcome to For the Story. Any new losers? I almost call them new listeners.
Any of you new losers who decided to check us out.
Make sure to rate us on iTunes. It's always good for us. It makes us feel warm inside. It makes the computer place happy, and more than anything, it gives us straight up cash.
Yeah, and also on top of that, you get straight up cash if you give us 5 stars. That's not fucking true. No,
it's true, but the caveat is you also have to have a job.
Yeah, it gives you cash if you're doing your job while you listen to us. So that's the only way you'll ever make money listening to our podcast. Sorry, guys. But no, seriously, iTunes or Apple Podcasts. I don't know what level of interchangeability there is there. I think Apple Podcasts used to be part of iTunes and now it's its own thing.
I think they're shutting down iTunes.
Oh wow, and just going straight up like Apple Music and then having Apple Podcasts. That kind of makes sense. I don't think nobody pays for individual songs anymore. It doesn't really make any sense anymore. So
but what am I going to do with this 99 cents burning a hole in my pocket, Avery?
You could buy, I don't even think you could buy a pack of gum. I was going to say get a pack of gum, but I mean, really
I'll get 12
probably
chiclets.
$1.29. Yeah, right. Buy like 75% of a pack of gum, and then just steal the rest, and you'll be good.
Just imagining like someone at a counter cutting up people's gum for the costs, just with a giant chef's knife. You
only got 75 cents.
And then their manager yelling, "You just gave him 80 cents worth of gum, you dipshit."
Oh my god, they weigh it out. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Okay.
Also our new business.
Do we have any other house cleaning stuff? I guess you guys probably heard we got a little sponsorship thing with Podcorn. We're gonna try to make sure that any sponsorship deal we have in the future, we're gonna try to make it as non-intrusive as possible.
Yeah, and maybe we won't talk about putting our dicks in cigars in the future.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's all good content. But
check out our YouTube channel where you could see us do it.
Oh god. Oh my god. No, yeah, so we're gonna try to make those as non-intrusive as possible. Like, you guys should check out Podcorn though, because they are the shit.
They're very cool guys.
And they're so helpful. They get back to you so quickly, and it's a really, really simple service to use. You can go through, and it doesn't matter if you're a brand or a podcast, you can pick. You already heard the ad, but you could sign up for sponsorships basically and tell brands, hey, I want to sponsor your show. Or vice versa, and you know what I'm trying to say here. It's cool.
Yeah.
So check them out. Also, what else do we have?
Follow us on Instagram.
Oh yeah, For the Story Podcast or just For the Story Pod? I always forget.
For the Story Podcast.
Gotcha on Instagram, and that's all one word. Check us out there. And I think that might be about it. Ash, did you watch anything interesting this week?
Sure did. I listened to my good friend Avery, and I watched A Ghost Story.
Hey yo, what'd you think?
I think I captured it really well in that text I sent you, which is if I wanted to watch someone cry for 6 minutes while eating pie, I'd go hide in a bush at the county fair. That movie is very meandering. It's got a lot of similarities to this movie, actually, and that I love the concept. The concept is great, but I don't think like the music or the cinematography really earned how slow it was. Yeah, not to the extent that this movie did. Love the concept though. I think it was really nice, but the execution was like okay.
Yeah, I remember liking that movie a lot the first time I saw it. I really liked the bigger idea behind like it's about time, and then let's not spoil too much about it, just in case any of the listeners want to watch it. But a ghost, I think it's on Netflix now, right?
Yeah, it just came on the 7th of January, so you can watch it on Netflix. Let us know what you think. I have very mixed feelings about it.
Yeah, I remember seeing that movie before I had started seeing a lot of movies. And I remember it just standing out as being something unique because I didn't know that independent movies, like small little things like that and like creative aspect ratios could actually be enjoyable. I always thought
aspect ratio was weird though.
It's anamorphic. So I think it's just really small. It's really small. And then they cut the corners.
Yeah. The cutting of the corners is what made no sense.
Yeah, well, it doesn't fit in with the story at all. It was just a stylistic choice that doesn't really have any bearing. They were just like, this would look cool and it's unique. Look, we're different. I think, but like
with like name enough brand actors, like fucking Rooney Mara's in it, and the Affleck I like slightly more.
Yeah, that's right. That was Ben Affleck's brother, wasn't it?
Yeah,
what's his name? Casey Affleck. Yeah. Which is so weird. Like, what else have you ever seen him in? You ever seen him in anything? Like,
well, let's see what he's in here. He's Paranorman.
Oh, okay. He's like Ben Affleck's he's Ben Affleck's like grunge brother. Like if Ben Affleck was a garage band, he would be the same person.
And that's also, I mean, I think we should talk about it. But Morbius is also Ben Affleck's grunge brother. As it is just Batman, but with vampires.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be bad.
It looks so bad.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. We're gonna have to watch it. It's one of these. The problem is like it's one of those movies that we brought up already, and now it's on the show and on the air permanently, and so now we're probably going to have to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of want to watch. Like you made the great joke because I was like, oh my god, you know, they have Venom, they have Mysterio, and they have now Morbius, and you're like, it's the Uglyverse.
That's exactly what it is. They all look like garbage.
It looks so bad.
Like trash. Mysterio probably looks the best out of all of them, right?
Yeah, but like the costume in and of itself is really fucking dumb.
Yeah. Well, I think like they made the right choice with Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Home Alone. They made the right choice by like making his costume just like an actual like mocap suit. That was like the best idea ever. And it works so well with the story because Mysterio looks ridiculous.
It's the dumbest looking thing ever. But no, I think they did that well. Did you see anything this week, Avery?
Yeah. So I was just scrolling as I do sometimes. I found the film Catch Me If You Can, starring Leo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. It's not like an incredibly great film, but it was more fun than I expected. And I will tell you, it kept me up later than I wanted to be up. I wanted to know the end. Very interesting one.
For a second, I thought you were saying Now You See Me, but then I realized like halfway through when you started saying who was in it, I'm like, oh, that's not that movie.
I was thinking the same thing the entire movie. It's like the same like kind of, I don't know what kind of phrase it is, but it's like a figure of speech. Catch me if you can. Now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, now you see me too. So I actually thought about that same joke while I was watching it because I kept wanting to call it Now You See Me. Yeah, Catch Me If You Can. It's on Netflix too, so you might as well just fucking watch it. I don't know. You have Netflix.
Yeah, you definitely do. Anything else, or should we get into talking about this film?
Yeah, do you have some budget stuff?
I do.
All right. Let's do this.
Uninspired Moog synthesizers.
is the budget breakdown.
Okay.
This movie, god damn it, this movie. No, now I've gone away from the page.
It's all good. We can make this work still. We can bring it back.
All right, the budget for this movie was $13.3 million.
Huh?
Came out on some day in 2013.
Come on. Come on.
All right, I am killing this, and I refuse to hear anything different.
I don't know why. I'm looking at it right now, and for some reason the release date is April 4, 2014, and I'm not entirely sure if that's
but it's first premiered in 2013 at Telluride.
Gotcha. So it was like one of those film festival ones that kept getting bounced around until it was released.
So with that budget of $13.3 million, how much do you think this film made?
Probably not a ton. I want to say 27 million.
Wrong. It was $7 million.
Whoa.
This was
not
flop.
a lot. That is seriously a flop. Wow. Interesting. It got good reviews. I mean, like, I don't know why it would flop. I guess it just, like, doesn't have a very broad appeal. Go figure.
Certainly does not.
You never can tell.
You can't tell. But also a lot of the times when you have movies that are like critically loved that are as small as this movie, no one cares. People are like, ugh, the pseudo intellectuals are back at it again. You know, it's like they kind of dismiss it a lot.
You know, I wonder if, like, honestly, probably people didn't really see it because it was probably difficult to see when it was still in theaters. It probably wasn't around everywhere.
Oh, it had a very limited release.
Yeah, I was going to say people probably heard about it and then they were like, I'm not driving all the way to Dallas to go see it. You know?
Yeah.
So
some of the numbers: all-time domestic box office 7,134. Top 2014 movies, number 172.
Oh my goodness.
Limited release movies, number 45. I want to use this one. Why do I hear seagulls?
I don't know, man. You're the one who lives in LA. I like heard them too.
It's like coming through my headphones and nowhere else. I'm kind of confused.
Oh my god, that's
the one I want to do is not fucking loading. There we go. All right, so we're talking about 2014 movies. This is 2014 theater averages, where it came in at 14th or 21st. 2014.
Wait, go scroll back a little bit. It came in what?
21st.
Okay.
Per theater average at $33,000.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting. So not a lot.
No.
At all.
No.
Well, go figure. All right, you got some questions for me? How are we doing here?
So that's what we're guessing this time. So it's in a one theater. How much money it made? In like what the high is, it was 21st. So what other movies in 2014 made a lot of money in one theater?
Oh my god, man. Give me some hints. I have no idea. That's such a broad question.
All right.
It could be anything. It could be anything.
So, all right, let's start a little lower. This movie is, oh God, I am so fucking off today, Avery. What is going on? Jon Favreau made a movie about food.
Oh my God. I know which one it is. I can't remember.
Chef.
Okay. And he's the chef, or he works with chefs and goes around. I think there's a series about this now, too.
Yeah, there's a series with the guy who helped him figure out how to do the movie.
Cook. Yeah. And he cooked and does the show now. That's cool. Good for him. Yeah. He's so likable.
He's very likable.
Yeah.
You just want to give him a hug.
Yeah. He just seems like a genuine nice guy who can like do anything if he wants.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely.
Very cool. Very good for him.
Another movie starring Scarlett Johansson and famous actor, but with a mustache.
Oh man, Scarlett Johansson. It wasn't Akira. What was it? Ghost in the Shell? Does that? No.
Stop yelling at me. You're scaring me.
Wait. What was the fucking one with like the 10% of her brain? It's called like Marley or something. It was like a name. What the hell was it?
I'm pretty sure the movie you're talking about is Limitless.
No. That's a different one with Bradley Cooper. Okay.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper. Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson. What the fuck was it? It was called like Mandy or something.
No, that's a Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah, I know. Shit.
It's also, you're on the wrong track.
It's not the one with Morgan Freeman?
No.
Okay, Lucy, that's what it's called. Also came out in 2014.
Terrible movie.
Yeah. Apparently, well, I don't know. It was like one of those ones that was visually stimulating, but not a lot to say. I don't know. Then I really don't know.
A guy wants to fuck his phone, kind of.
Oh, Her. I forgot about Her. That movie's good.
That movie is good. This movie was in your top 10 list.
Is it
if
Under
you
the
remember
Skin? I don't think I remember it. Was it Under the Skin?
No. I mean, technically it is on this list, yes.
Oh my god. She was also in it, or it just is in my top 10 list?
It was in your top 10 list.
Was it the Lego movie?
No.
Because that was 2014. I'm like drawing a blank for my top 10 list now. What the fuck did I say? Where are my goddamn notes?
Well,
all right, give me another hint.
Centered shots.
Centered shots. Oh, Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah,
2014. That movie's great. That is definitely a good one.
I need to look up who's in this one real quick so I can give you a good hint.
Hell yeah.
This one's in the list multiple times. It's a coming of age movie.
Is it Boyhood?
Yeah, it's Boyhood.
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest talked about movies from that year. And I honestly am not crazy about that movie.
Yeah.
But
this movie, the commercial for it, I didn't actually see it, has a former Batman actor walking around the streets a lot.
Oh my god, Birdman with Michael Keaton. Yeah.
It's really weird that was the thing that got you. This movie is also, I think, it's got a similarity to Limitless.
It's got similarities to Limitless. Is it Lucy? It's not Lucy.
No.
We already talked about that. Similarity to Limitless.
I mean, like a vague similarity. I have to double check. Yeah, a vague similarity to it.
I remember we talked about one that was like, we were like, this is a lot like Limitless, but it came out in 2014.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's the plot that's similar. There's just a similar aspect to the film.
Okay. Give me another hint, because I'm not totally sure.
Spencer saw this once, and...
Dude, come on. You always do that with like the... Spencer told me like 10 years ago he liked this movie.
Spencer saw this with his dad, and he said he liked it, but couldn't tell me any details about it. This is a hint I've given maybe 5 times.
Fuck. So it's something that we've talked about too.
It's always the same fucking movie.
Oh my god. We talk about a lot of movies from that time period then. I don't know. I don't know.
If you don't like this movie, you're a bad guy. You hate America.
Oh my god. Is it like White House Down or like
no? The subject of the film, like, I think he got in hot water because his like real life personality was so shitty.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Directed by Clint Eastwood.
Oh my god, is it like Gran Torino? That came out before that.
No, Gran Torino's an okay movie. No.
Fuck, I don't know what it is. I don't
know.
It's
American Sniper.
Son of a bitch. Damn it.
Similar
you said
to
hot water. You said hot water and I started thinking about Hot Tub Time Machine and it threw me off.
How is that similar to Limitless in any way?
I have no idea. If you had a Hot Tub Time Machine, you would use it for good and personal gain.
You'd be pretty limitless if you had a hot tub time machine.
You'd be pretty limitless. Not even time can hold you down.
Yeah. No, it's American Sniper, also starring Bradley Cooper.
How is that similar? I thought it... Wait. Isn't that Mark Wahlberg?
No.
Is that the only reason it's similar to Limitless? Is because Bradley Cooper's in it?
Yeah.
That's the similarity? I was thinking like a plot similarity.
I told you it wasn't a plot similarity.
I swear to God, you're trying to sabotage me, okay?
I'm trying to gaslight you, which is why you couldn't guess the film. Her. That was the film we just talked about. Her.
Yeah. Spencer told me you liked this movie like 15 years ago. After that one party we went to.
The like, first time I did that hint, it was because I was like, "Oh, Spencer, you told me about this movie, but you couldn't tell me anything about it. But told me you liked it." And he's like, "The fuck, dude? What?" So I just stuck to that as a hint. Wow. Okay, great. Yeah. So there we go. We'll just stick there, huh? Yeah, that's the end of the budget breakdown. Oh, wow, great. Thanks everyone for participating. Thanks, guys, there weren't any good lists. There weren't any good lists. No, that's not a good list. Yeah, well, like the other ones are like, this is 7,000th. Yeah, of course, because it made like $5. It's listed like number like 13,000 of all time. Well, now we know. There you go. I hope you guys learned a little something about the year 2014. Yeah. That's what we're here. We're here to teach. So should we get into our expectations for Under the Skin? I really think we should. Let's do expectations. We'll take a short break and then we'll come back and do pros and cons. Sure. Is that that's how we normally break it up, right? I always forget. We don't always break it up, but sometimes we do. Gotcha. Well, we're going to do that. We're going to take a short break and then we'll come back. We'll hit you with pros, cons, ratings. You know the deal from there. But yeah, Ash, what were you expecting going into this movie? I'm on a real ScarJo high right now. I'm excited for her upcoming film. She got nominated for 2 Oscars for Jojo Rabbit Marriage Story. She's been fucking killing it. So I had very high expectations of this movie. It was also in your top 10 list. Yeah. For the decade. Yep. I like 10 years. Mm-hmm. This was one of the top 10 films from the last 10 years. I liked it, man. I really liked it. Sex crimes. What were your expectations? I've seen this movie before. I told you that. It's been a while since I've seen it. And I think I'm a little better at analyzing movies now than I was the first time I saw it. The first time I saw it, it really rung true for me in a lot of ways. I had just moved to a new city. I saw it like a month after I moved to Austin. And so I didn't know anyone and I kind of felt out of place. And so it really rang true for me there. I was curious to see if I would still identify with that message, going on like 5 years later, literally 5 years later. And, I will get into that in the cons, I think, because I don't think I identify with it as much anymore. Yeah. But I was expecting to, I don't know. It's kind of a slow-paced movie. I thought I was going to be kind of bored the second time around. But I was bored the first time around. But yeah. So I was kind of thinking like, I'll get through this and then we'll be able to talk about it. I expected style over substance because that's what this series is. Yeah. So what else do we need? Are we good to take a quick little music break? A little dance break? Let's dance. Yeah, so let's dance our way through this break. Guys, we'll be back in 5. We love you all so much. Shorty had them apple bottom jeans. So then I says to her, you know what? I think bell-bottom jeans really accentuate your leg shape. Anyway.
Oh, damn. Girl, get some boots with the fur, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you're just at a
The
club.
whole club be looking at her.
Yep.
Yeah. Welcome back. We did it. What did we talk about? We talked about some money. Avery fruitlessly attempted to guess movies.
Yep.
But what else is new? I mean, come on. You've listened before.
Yeah.
And we talked some expectations, too. And we're back. We're going to get into the bulk of the episode here. The meat, the beef of the episode, if you will.
The overcooked, well-done, round-eye steak of it all. Chewy.
That's
gross.
That's right. Chewy, gross, good as only one thing, and that's a doorstop.
Well, no, it could be a hockey puck.
Or a hockey puck, exactly. Or a deadly weapon, perhaps.
Yeah, you ever been beat to death? Is that what they mean when they say beat your meat?
You ever been beat to death with a well-done steak?
This mobster sucks.
Yo, beat him to death with a well-done steak.
Boss.
I'll beat him, boss. Ew. Oh, God. That guy's like a rat. Got a boss.
You try and cross my family after what we have done for the beef industry. Get him, Jimmy the shit.
You're gonna get beefed, kid.
Don't rob the beef unless you can take the beef.
This is a terrible character. A meat-based mobster serial killer.
Played by Bradley Cooper.
Oh my God. It's perfect. That's what he'll play in his like advanced age. Yeah. And we're gonna write it.
We can call the movie Killer Beef. Forever.
Or just well done.
Ooh.
Killer Beef Forever.
It's a shot-for-shot remake of Killer Bean, but it's with beef.
The remake nobody asked for.
I'm just a piece of beef trying to get some sleep. Get him, filet.
Looks like you're well done. God, that's shit. All right, let's get into this. We're bringing it back around.
Okay.
That's an excellent segue into our pros section for Under the Skin.
Fuck. All right.
Speaking of well done beef, pros. Ash, I need you to start.
I guess I will reveal what I believe this film to be about, because it is a little bit about what we talked about, or what you posited. But what I liked about this movie was an exploration from an outsider view on why people choose or are unnaturally forced to be alone. And I thought that as a exploration from an outside viewpoint was super well done. It was the only interesting thing for a good portion of the movie, where it was like, all right, why be alone? And then explorations of like, okay, but what if you're not alone? And as like an element of the human experience, where some people have a wife and kids, or people they live with. Some people don't have those as a choice, or for no fault of their own.
Forced.
Yeah.
So I forced into it.
I think that was like, for me, the interpretation I was giving a good chunk of the movie, and in general it gets a little bit muddled at the end, but I think that's like a script writing problem more than like
I think so too.
The ending is a little weird.
The ending is like very, very literal.
It's very literal, and it's also just
it's almost like clumsily literal.
Well, yeah.
After something that could potentially have like strong metaphoric value. Could, if it was tied up well, the ending just kind of fumbles into like, okay, there you go. This is what happened. She's really an alien.
Yeah, well,
spoilers, by the way.
Well, you know that from the first fucking second.
Yeah. But I will say, I agree with you completely about the loneliness thing. And I also want to say that is probably why this movie resonated with me so well the first time I saw it. It was like she's an other. She's somebody totally different. And at first is kind of okay with it, is doing just like keeping her head down and doing what she needs to do. And then comes to a point where she wants to be integrated, but like physiologically can't be integrated, which goes into what you were saying. Like, like sometimes people can't choose to be public or to be social. Sometimes it's just not an option. And I liked that a lot. Yeah. It doesn't really ring true with me anymore. I feel like I'm a lot happier of a person now too. I will be honest. That first year when I moved to Austin was really lonely and really sad. Yeah. And what I did was watch a lot of science fiction movies. And this is one of the ones. And I was like, I get the message here.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it. That's why it's one of my top movies of the decade, because it was something for me to anchor to in a pretty dark time in my life.
For sure. And that's totally reasonable.
Hell yeah.
You know, like for me, going through a breakup and watching Riverdale.
Everybody's got their thing like that. Everybody has something, you know? Like for some people it's Riverdale. For some people it's really odd, arty fucking horror. I don't know. But I do want to say I really enjoy the way this movie is stylized. Mm-hmm. And I know you don't like it so much.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Well, I mean, like, it's not like,
it's all subjective.
I want to defend myself a little bit there. I like it when it is stylized, but the stylization from my perspective is forced at random points where like I think a really good example is when she's like sleeping in that cabin, and then they have the shot of her like laying out over the trees. That's super cool. Yeah. But where the fuck is that coming from? Or the scene where it's like... That's a very random shot. Yeah, and then like, but there were a bunch of them like that. And like the ones that were placed carefully, they kind of used a lot. You know, with the Black Room. So like it just lost its fervor. Like it was great the first time, kind of lost it as it repeated. But then they did it.
Yeah. I think what I do like about those scenes in the Black Room, because it looks very cool. Mm-hmm. It's very, very cool looking. And that's one thing, like, is this a metaphor? Is she literally luring these people in here? And I came to the decision, doesn't fucking matter.
No, it super doesn't.
Yeah. But I love the way the Black Room looks. And I like that the first time you're like, oh, she's luring these people in here. They get sucked into this black pit. What's happening to them? And then the second time you see it happen, you see what's happening to them. And it's like they're just sucking these people dry and beaming the meat up somewhere.
I will say that I knew pretty early on what was going on, because she said, I'm picking up some furniture for my family. And it kind of was already established that she was an alien. So I'm like, oh, she's
right
abducting people.
Yeah. So I like that. I kind of like the beginning of this movie, the way it's stylized. The one thing that I love so much is as she's pulling the clothes off of the other Scarlett Johansson. I'm pretty sure that's just her body too.
No.
I think it is.
It is not.
I feel like it is.
No, it's another actress. It's fully another actress.
Is it really?
Like, and the insane part is this was going to be how I rolled out my cons. That woman has a completely different body shape than Scarlett Johansson, and she puts on her clothes and they fit like a glove. It's insane.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But one thing that I like is she picks like a bug off of the woman, and it's like on her finger. And like the whole idea is like she's an alien and they're so powerful, they just come down. They don't even see these people as sentient. They could just crush them if they want to, you know? And that, I think, they're trying to say like, this is somebody who's alone because they have no feelings and no remorse and no empathy for other people. They could just crush you if they wanted to. Like to you, they're just you're just a bug.
I am gonna give a disagreement on that. I'm gonna push back on that because she is overpowered pretty easily physically.
I guess so. Yeah, but I don't know. They're aliens. They could come there whenever they want. You know, they're powerful. But that is true. That does happen. Yeah. I think for a totally different reason. And I think that message is kind of muddled and doesn't really make it throughout the entire movie.
Did she kill that bug?
Yeah. I don't remember.
I don't think she did. I think that was like a foreshadowing of her kinder heart, which is then later betrayed. Yeah.
I do. I like that actually segues into the man, the deformed man he's credited as, played by Adam Pearson. This is a man, he has neurofibromatosis type 1. So he has a differently shaped face, and Scarlett Johansson picks him up on the side of the road. That's her whole thing. She drives around a truck, she picks these people up, lures them back to her house, puts them in the black pit, and then they suck the meat out and send it to the spaceship or wherever. I love the scene where they're talking in that truck.
Oh, that's great.
I love it. I love the way it's lit. The way it's lit to not show the man's face until he really pulls up his hood. It's so fucking uncomfortable. He doesn't know if she's mocking him or what. And he knows that something fucking weird is up, but he's a sad man who wants to interact with somebody, anybody. So he's willing. He knows it's fucking weird and gets a bad feeling from it, but goes along with it anyway. And it is so discomforting to watch. And it's slow, very good. I love that scene. Just gonna say, there's a pro right there. We're talking about the empathy. She ends up letting this man go because she feels remorse for him or empathy for him. Yeah. Which I like. Yeah. What else you got?
I'm at the end of my list.
Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the soundtrack or the score, because it's really a score. What did you think?
So I liked what they were going for, and a lot of the sounds were really cool using that Moog.
Yeah.
It was very reminiscent of Kubrick, but what it was missing was a punch. I think what Kubrick does really well, especially in 2001, which is the most recent film we watched together about that, so that'll be fresh in our minds, is pure fucking silence and the loud Moog synthesizer. The Moog was kind of in the middle. Some of the shots were silent. Some of them had a lot of natural noises, which is fine, but I felt like it made it less impactful.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to just disagree with you so wholeheartedly. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I just wasn't punchy enough for my liking, for what they were trying to do.
I think the exact opposite. I like the absence of noise, which is most of the movie, or not most, but I mean, there's a lot of just much quieter scenes. And then when something truly kind of weird or horrifying is happening, they do those high-pitched wailing strings. That shit sounds awesome. And it gives me goosebumps. I love the way this soundtrack is. And I like how they do show that disparity between the quiet moments and then they just pierce through everything with those high-pitched wailing strings. I think that's fucking sweet.
Okay.
That's just what I feel.
No, I mean, it's not like I dislike it. I just think that sometimes they did pure silence and sometimes they just left a little bit of the background noise in, especially in the latter half. I felt like they did a really good job in the beginning, but then it kind of tapered off where it's I can hear birds in the background or the crunching of steps, which is great, but the sound for those things wasn't produced very well. So it didn't have the stark.
Right. They didn't own it.
Because
the bleakness, if you will. It was
with that musical style of juxtaposing the quiet against the kind of grating dissonance of an instrument like that. I want that to be as stark as possible, and I don't think it was done like that the whole way through. And that was just the issue I found with it. It's not that it was a bad soundtrack. I think that the strings were really great and very jarring, but it's what they were surrounded by that I more had a problem with.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we can both agree that the second half of this movie is where the problems start to seep in.
No.
Really?
I think the first half is where it starts to seep in as well. I think this movie's a fucking mess.
I think it ends up having a kind of meandering tone throughout the latter half of the movie.
Oh, definitely.
I think it starts with what seems like a pretty focused and interesting idea. At least I feel like it is. It starts out there, she's hunting down people, trying to lure them back. But then after that, they try to give it more of a meaning. Beyond that, beyond the whole she's a sociopath who feels no remorse. And I like the idea that they start little by little foreshadowing that she's going to have emotions, but then they don't really take it anywhere other than showing her doing fish out of water stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the second half is really just, it starts to like fall apart.
Yeah.
I
think the second half also affected my enjoyment. Well, a lot of things affected my enjoyment of the first half, but I think the big thing is from my perspective, I'm like, oh, she's been in this van for literally the first hour of this movie. It's the van in the black room is a repeated motif over and over again for the first half of this movie. And then I'm like, oh, yay, she's doing literally anything else. And it just fucking falls flat. You know, I'm like, okay, this is going to lead to something. Her doing all of this is leading to something. Otherwise, keep her in the car and have her learn more and more until she comes to like some kind of philosophical conclusion, and just fucking make it one of those bottled movies like The Man from Earth. But I think taking out into the normal world and having this kind of lackluster latter half, it didn't do the first half any favors.
Yeah, it definitely didn't. It's interesting that you mentioned her driving around in the van. I remember thinking that was cool as shit when I first saw it, because a lot of that is all completely improvised.
Yeah, you can kind of tell.
Set up, like they actually like interviewed some of these people, not interviewed, but like recorded. It's like some of those are genuine interactions, and you can kind of tell which ones are genuine interactions and which ones aren't. I'm sure they told them after the fact, because she was just asking them like kind of weird stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And they sometimes like are like, okay, weird, but anyway, yeah, you're gonna want to turn right up there. Also, I want to mention, and I think this altered my enjoyment of the film this time, the movie is not supposed to have any subtitles at all. So those people with their accents are totally not understandable.
Yeah, they're completely incoherent.
Yeah, totally incoherent. And this time I realized, like, I was almost finished with the movie at this point, that throughout those scenes there were subtitles the whole time, so you could read what they were saying. And I think it really reduces the effect of like she's in a strange world that she doesn't understand, because it wasn't supposed to have subtitles initially, but I guess Netflix added them in. So I don't know if that kind of changed things for me a little bit. But yeah, do you want to start talking about some cons?
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's get into it.
I think I've kind of delved into them a little bit.
Yeah, we both started to.
But I want to start with the fact that this movie had a very, like, clearly, you know, we talked about this before we started recording, but clearly, you know, the script was written first. But the nude scenes of Scarlett Johansson were kind of tacky.
A little bit.
A little tacky, and just kind of forced.
Seemed like an after the fact kind of idea.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, she was wearing that girl's panties. Do you not have a problem with that? They like explicitly show the panties.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Kind of weird.
It's very weird. Why would you do that?
This really goes into a point that it's my first con on my list.
Okay.
As much as I love Scarlett Johansson, it's like, how much does she actually bring to this role or this character?
Exactly.
You know, because there's not really any dialogue. You know, I think the parts where she does better is when she is speaking to other people. Mm-hmm. When she's doing the improvisation, she manages to stay quote unquote in character.
Right.
But she's just trying to be like the character's just not really there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's not even a named character.
Yeah. Yeah, like she does have an arc, but it's not very satisfying, and you don't I don't know. It just like there's not really a ton of character there.
Yeah, it's like she kind of begins this journey towards understanding humanity, and then gets fucking killed, like almost raped and killed before you get any kind of satisfying arc for her. It's like halfway through the arc because they spent too long in the fucking van.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's like, I think I get the impression that they spent a lot of time working on those van scenes, and they had all this footage and realized that they probably weren't going to be able to fill out the rest of the movie. And so they started adding in, you know, the other stuff in the second half that's problematic. The like, kind of like, I don't know, it's just fish out of water dumb crap. Like her eating the cake and stuff like that. Like I see what they're trying to show, but
they wait
I don't know.
Way too long to do any of that. Like it's like they tried to make a completely different movie for the second half of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I didn't like the van stuff, but I would have liked the van stuff if they just kept fucking going and it had a satisfying conclusion. You know what I mean? Like breaking it up the way they did lessened both halves.
They abandon a lot of the complete like blankness of her sociopathy.
Yeah.
In favor of like doing that fish out of water stuff. And then it kind of just meanders, and she's just like walking around the countryside for a while and like falls in love, but then finds out she can't have sex really because she's like physically blocked from doing it.
In the weirdest shot where she looks at her vagina with a lamp.
Yeah.
That's a weird shot. I did not like that. I'm like, ugh.
I don't know. Some of the stuff you can kind of think it's kind of like a bold and interesting idea, but it just doesn't play out very well. And I think that's some of the weakest stuff in this movie for sure.
And I will say, to kind of piggyback on your point about it not having to be Scarlett Johansson, a fun little mental experiment is if Margot Robbie was in this part, would it be better or the same? And I think it would be the same.
I don't think so. I don't think Margot Robbie could be quiet for that long. If I'm being totally honest with you, I think she would have to be way too quirky and way too gamer girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think she wouldn't touch this kind of thing, you know?
But I feel like
they wouldn't consider her.
Like Scarlett Johansson, I think with her character of Natasha Romanoff kind of has this like disassociated human thing like nailed. So it's just kind of surprising that she didn't bring more to that specific character.
I think it was the direction. I don't think it's necessarily her.
Well, yeah, the guy's hair or the guy's skin color is fucking weird that directed it. Yeah. So
maybe he's an alien. Shit, we don't know.
I mean, yeah, no, I mean we do know he is for sure.
Yeah. To talk a little bit more about Scarlett Johansson, we briefly discussed the idea that how strongly this was billed as a Scarlett Johansson's nude film. You know, it's like it's always a very bold choice, I guess. Like you always read about articles, you know, about actresses like this actress's bold choice to be nude in this movie. Mm-hmm. And it's just like it's always like a big thing, and that was clearly part of the marketing. And it seems like they hammed it up a little bit after the fact. You know what I mean? Like they put more of it in there than I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just doesn't seem necessary, I guess, to like get her like humanized. Not even humanized. I don't know what I'm saying there, but yeah. Shit.
Yeah, I don't know. This movie meanders a lot.
Yeah, a big problem, and it's mostly because of the script. I feel personally, especially in the second half. This movie's just very front-loaded with style with not as much substance. And I mentioned that earlier, but the thing that I wrote down in my notes is style over substance for sure. Ironically, this movie is pretty surface level for a movie called Under the Skin.
Yeah.
No, and that's its biggest problem, you know? Yeah. It's like it looks cool. It does get repetitious with the fan scenes, but I think like it's not an ugly looking movie. And I think a lot of the parts that are hyper stylized in their way look freaking awesome. But it's just like the story just leaves something to be desired.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end.
It's like listen, both of these movies both of the writers on this movie, this is their first fucking movie, and they decided to go into a fun little soiree with fucking esoteric science fiction. What a bunch of idiots. That's not your first project. Your first project is Barely Lethal. That's what you fucking make first. Like, this is not...
I don't know, maybe... Like, they may have written other movies before.
No, I looked into it.
We don't...
I looked into.
Well, I mean, they might not be credited, but I'm sure they probably tried to write other scripts before this, and probably felt like they could do it. You know,
I don't know.
It's like
science fiction is just like one of the hardest things to write well, I think.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's like we were talking shit on Jonathan Glazer, but some of the directorial choices he made probably elevated this movie. To be honest, like because the script is really kind of non-existent. He made the weird choice to do the improvised street scenes, probably. You know, like anything visually that looked cool was probably him and the director of photography. So it's kind of like it's kind of hard to say that necessarily he's the one who messed this up, or if he messed it up at all. I think for what it is, this movie tries to be deeper than it actually is. But at least it looks cool. At least it looks cool. Yeah. What else do we have here? We're coming up like real short.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all my cons.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much where I want to leave it, because I mean, it's hard to make a lot of pros and a lot of cons. Not a lot happens. Like, let's be 100% real.
It's really bare bones.
Not a lot happens for an hour 48 movie. This movie would have a lot of things I would have changed.
If it was 20 minutes shorter, it would have been a lot better.
If it was like bare bones, hour 30.
It's already bare bones, and they just like inflated it with all the B-roll footage that they had with the van scenes.
Mm-hmm. I think that like some of those van scenes were more effective than others. And if I could have my way, I'd have the good ones over like some of the
like,
just
cut it down to like 2 really strong ones.
Yeah, and like with the club scene. I don't know about the club scene. I could go either way.
Yeah, and I mean, like they could have cut that out. Although that is the guy who takes you into you follow that character into what I think is the best segment of the movie.
Yeah, they would have to rearrange that point into another person.
She needed another kill before that.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
But Scottish beach guy.
Yeah, cut that out entirely.
Fucking get that out of here. I don't want to listen to that
nothing
baby
really goes
cry.
With that, so. Yeah, I guess that was supposed to really hammer in the fact that she doesn't even feel remorse for a baby. Like, what, you would be insane as a human to leave a baby
have
stranded
her murder
on the
a
beach.
dog. Come on.
Yeah, they could have done that. They could have done the same thing with a dog, or instead of a baby, just like leave the dog there after killing the owner. Like that's the same thing. Like theoretically, that could have worked. Yeah, the dogs like pull on people's heartstrings, I think, more than babies. Nobody likes babies.
Yeah, no, babies are fucking annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't even read or do math.
Yeah, exactly. Or like do their taxes or anything like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
or do my taxes.
Yeah. There's only one boss baby.
Yeah, only one for a reason. The cream of the crop.
Yeah, of course.
Alec Baldwin.
Well, he's kind of a baby.
He's a big baby. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, so where are we? Are we really already at the final part of our review?
We're like 55 minutes in.
Yeah. This is a little bit shorter of an episode, but that's okay. Sometimes we wrap it up in with a tight, nice bow. Just a mwah.
All right.
That's a spicy meatball.
When we review films, what we like to do here at For the Stories, we give 5 random words, or they couldn't be a phrase, that we think describes the movie. We say any last points we want to make. We give it a rating out of 10 and tell you if you should watch the movie.
Yeah, that's what we do, man. That's what we do. That's definitely what we do. Ash, would you like to start?
Yeah.
Or would you like me to start?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
This is meandering bunch of one word bullshit. I did not like this movie. I thought that if you're going to have a slow pace, it needs to go somewhere, and it never did. I think that having whatever grips you in that first half, that's fine. You can't follow it up to give it a meaningful reason. For literally the first hour is just alternating van and black room scenes. It's effective once or twice. It is not effective 4 times. I am sorry. Bad.
It didn't happen 4 times. Sorry. Yeah. I don't think it was 4
first
times.
Guy, beach guy, club guy, deformed guy. It's 4 times.
Yeah.
It's literally 4 times.
Yeah.
Anyway.
At least they were all a little bit different. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry,
this movie gets a solid 2 out of 10 for me. I did not enjoy myself. I thought I was very bored and wasn't given the intellectual or pseudo-intellectual depth that I wanted going into this movie, or at least seeing how it was starting. Just not a big fan. You might like it, though, so I'm going to give this a maybe on Watch It. If you don't mind meandering artsy stuff that doesn't really fulfill a story arc in a complete way, this might be for you, and that's totally fine. Completing a story arc is overrated, but in this case, it just didn't work for me.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Did I hurt your feelings? I'm sorry.
A little bit. Yeah. So my 5 words are Scarlett Johansson's first nude film.
First nude film.
Yeah. It's she says it as it's marketed that way very clearly. It seemed like added in as a marketing bit.
Almost
in,
the
like,
name.
the latter part of production.
The name tells you like this movie's gonna have fucking titties.
I think that this movie is a great example of something that's style over substance. It really hit me hard when I saw it the first time, and I very much enjoyed it. The second time around, I see more of the flaws. I think I'm also better at analyzing movies, and I'm a little bit older, so it's how it goes. I still want to keep this as one of my top 10 notable movies of the decade. I really think that you should probably see it. And it's also on Netflix. I think that while it does tend to meander towards the end, I think that the stylized nature of it really kind of justifies it in some ways. And if you want to see something interesting visually, especially at its peaks, I think Under the Skin is a solid choice for you. Give this movie an 8 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I don't think we've ever been this polarized.
No, I don't know. Barely Lethal, Mean Girls 2.
Okay, those are just like joke hand grenade picks.
The Tooth Fairy 2 I really liked.
You just Hail Married some movies in there. That doesn't count.
Well, shit. Okay.
Shit.
Well, tune in again next week. We're watching Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. It's a fucking weird movie. I have no idea if you like it.
Yeah. Well,
I have no idea if I'll like it. It's been a long time since I've watched it,
Yeah.
and I might just not like it.
Yeah.
I loved it when I was 12.
Yeah. Man, I honestly, I didn't think you were going to really like Under the Skin, but I am quite surprised how much you didn't like it.
I think on paper it seems like a movie I'd like.
I don't know, maybe? Like, I don't know. I could see it's just like it got that slow thing going for it that I really like. I just like how it looks. I like how it looks and the sound. I enjoyed this movie. I really just enjoy this movie.
Fair enough.
But shit. All right. Well, unless we got anything else for this, I think are we wrapping this up?
I think we're all settled on everything that we need to talk about.
Yeah, sending this bad boy home. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking around. This was a pretty expedited episode, but hey,
we did it.
That's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, we did it. But cool. Yeah, send us an email if you want to, forthestorypodcast@gmail.com. Do that. You could, I don't know, follow us on Instagram, do the whole thing. But anyway, we love you guys so much. Goodbye.
My character's name is Woman.